a microphone,
We good?
a little obsession, and Lalla Hirayama. It's time to get closer to the stars with M-NetMovies and LallaLand.
There really is something magical about the city, and I finally understand what everyone's been talking about. There is a creativity in the air, a sense of artistic flair, and I now know why everybody flocks here for inspiration. There's something in the air. This right here is the famous, well, it used to be the famous Love Lock Bridge in Paris, where couples from all around the world, they come and they'd lock their love on this bridge. But because of safety reasons, they had to take it down. Pretty sad, but that's okay because all around this beautiful city, you see locks everywhere. It's so cool. Another amazing thing about Paris is that there are immaculate parks all over the city where Parisians and tourists alike can come, relax, and take in the city. I see the epitome of French living. Sipping coffee on a sidewalk cafe. I could do this. What's a trip to Paris without a trip right here to Notre Dame, which also means Our Lady of Paris. Now, this is a medieval Catholic church and is also known as one of the greatest and finest examples of French Gothic architecture. But before we wrap up this whirlwind of a trip to Paris, I had to see it with my own eyes. I mean, how different is Fallout from all the other Mission Impossible films?
Well, I think the trouble is with a title like Mission Impossible, you have to keep the audience believing that these missions are impossible. And of course, the last one wasn't, because we all survived. So each time, it has to feel more impossible. You know, and this one is no exception. It is, in some respects, the culmination of all 6 films, you know, because this is Ethan looking back and realizing that no matter how many times he saves the world, does it really get better? And it's a film that you can watch if you've never seen a Mission Impossible before, you know, because it's a self-contained adventure, which is what all of these films are. And I think why they've survived, you know.
This is a bad idea.
Is it ever a good one? Honestly.
Were you an Ethan Hunt fan from 1996 when it all started?
Mission Impossible was something which I knew about, and yes, a fan of Ethan Hunt. Absolutely. And so an opportunity to be in a movie with Ethan Hunt, especially how he evolves in this movie into something quite different, was a lot of fun.
Ethan Hunt will lose everyone he ever cared about.
It's the first time that you've had a return director. What was it like working with Chris again?
You know, he's a brilliant writer, brilliant director, great storyteller. But I think because him and Tom just reached this understanding, this rhythm, Tom didn't want to let that go. And whereas before he's chosen a different director for each one, this time he's like, no, you come back and do it again.
The end you've always feared is coming.
I'm kind of getting goosebumps because if anybody knows the essence of Mission Impossible in our generation, it is definitely you.
Wow, oh, thank you. Ethan, that's not who we are.
Maybe we need to reconsider that.
How did you plan on making Fallout stand out?
What I try to do is make a movie that's worthy of all the other films. And coming into this one, we just looked for a thing that was different from the last movie. And so I focused on the emotion because I hadn't really seen that play out the way I wanted to in this one.
What's done is done when we say it's done. Showtime.
Your character saves Ethan quite a few times. But, you know, it definitely has, you know, changed the stereotype of the damsel in distress. And how important is that for you, and did it feel good?
I mean, it is very important, I think, especially the time that we are now, where the topic is very active and sizzling, thank God, and we are only scratching the surface of what lies beneath.
You don't understand what you're involved in.
You need to walk away.
Please don't make me go through you.
I feel like the women in Mission Impossible, I remember when I watched all of them before I met Tom, they've always been really unique and individual, and their energy has always been really different. They've always had a total purpose in a way. And so that felt really cool.
I gotta be honest, throughout the movie, I was at the edge of my seat, my stomach was in a knot, I was sweating hot and cold flushes, it was ridiculous. And I just thought to myself, you know, when you're making a movie like that, it's obviously really intense on set, but as soon as they called cut, what was the vibe like?
It's really quite jovial and light, you know, light, yeah, because, and it starts from top down, you know, with Chris and Tom. It's really, you know, they keep it really easy, really flowing.
You go rogue, he's been authorized to hunt you down and kill you.
That's the job.
Why should South Africans see Mission Impossible Fallout?
Because it's like Mission Impossible movies, but better.
Next time on LallaLand.
We're back in London for the final installment of Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. How was rehearsals? Tell us about that.
Could you call that dancing? That's shuffling your bottom around, isn't it?
Visit M-Net.tv and see what else Lalla has been up to and a whole lot more to keep you a little obsessed.